Greetings and welcome to another excellent World of Tanks video. Now, I was working on making money, and last night, actually yesterday afternoon, I was talking to J-Man, and he was like, can I join you? I said, sure, let's go make money, it's no problem. So we did that, and he asked me, it's like, well, he's some question variation of, is the K1 tank a good tank for making money? I said, well, I don't know. Let's look at it. He goes, and he's, by the way, he's 8 years old. He said, it has up to 490 armor. I said, oh, does it? Well, let's really go look at this dude. And the thing that was interesting is that when you're thinking correctly, age doesn't matter, all right? Experience is experience, whether you're 8 years old or 80 years old. If you have the experience and you have the understanding of what's important, maybe you're not 100% sure of something, ask somebody. And we do this back and forth in my group of guys. We ask, hey, what do you think of XYZ? Because everyone's going to see things a slightly bit different. And so what he made me think was, first off, let's go look at the K1 tank. Oh, there we go. It's the green tank. All right, K1. So let's go look at this armor. And son of a gun, look at that armor bar. Now the far right number is 501. This is the 490 that J-Man noticed, and I was like, oh really? Okay, now that's really important. Number one, you're getting a good spread of armor numbers. But let's go look and see. There's something I was noticing myself, not yesterday but today, was this here. Look at this front plate. That's a 300 angle, which is very good. And then there's another, that lower plate is also very good. There you go. Now that 300 is on top of this. That's crazy. This tank is like, okay, the armor is absolutely potentially killer. Now, spoiler alert, he was correct. It's a monster in the moneymaker category. And now the thing is, what, originally when I did the moneymaker tanks, or tank, I used the EE tank. That's the one my friend showed me. And this is the best moneymaker tank as far as your top end money is just ridiculous. And I posted a classic, I posted a classic shorty with a 676,000 in one game in this tank. Now, that's terrific. But what if you don't have this tank? Do you have other moneymaker tanks? And so this is what we're getting at, is that the question of J-Man is more genius than the surface level. The surface level is that, well, is that K1 a good moneymaker tank? The answer is it's awesome. That dude threw down an MVP in the K1, and he got 275,000 silver in one game. So that was fantastic. I used it a couple of times and tried it out to see what I could do, and I didn't do as well as he did, but I was still making a couple 100,000 plus, okay? And this is where, his skill and ability on that, on heavy tanks is apparently better than mine, okay? And that's not a problem for me. I'm willing to learn. But he stumbles across this idea, well, is it a good moneymaker tank? The answer is yes, it is. And then I was thinking, I go, well, what else is a good moneymaker tank? So let me look at these tanks, okay? We looked at the armor of the K1. Let me show you something else about the K1. So he's an 8-year-old, very smart guy, all right? Comes up with a great question. and it makes me think. It turns out, like I said, in the testing, he did it, and it was great. He did great, and that's a great tank. So if you have a K1 tank, maybe you don't have an EE tank for some reason, that's a jackpot. But one of the things I said, I was looking at this from a professor's standpoint. It's like, okay, let's categorize the moneymaker tanks. What are the attributes of the moneymaker tanks? Well, number one, good armor. Okay, EE tank has good armor. K1 tank has much better armor. So it's like, that's very interesting. Speed is another factor. What's the speed of this K1 tank? 75. Okay, the EE tank is a little bit faster, but let's just say 70 plus. All right, let's categorize it. If you want to have a moneymaker tank, you like to have 70 plus. You want to have good armor, good or better armor. What else would you like to have? Well, you'd like to have a fast reload, and this is the key. The faster you reload, the more damage you can do over time. So we want to look at damage per minute. So now what you'll see here, and I went back and double checked all of my quote moneymaker tanks, and they're all configured for just the minimum reload time they can have. You'll see in my equipment, advanced armor, but I have the fan that gives you a reduction on reload. I also have, in fact, let's go here. There's the advanced armor, fan for reduced reload, advanced loader for reduced reload, enhanced rations for reduced reload. You're detecting, I take it, the pattern. So the reduced reload is key. What's the reload on this tank? Well, this tank, the reload is 4.80 is what it looks like to me. Those are the tiny numbers on my laptop. So we have a 5-second or less reload. That's awesome. What's that number say there? It's over 6,000 for damage per minute. So really good armor, fast, 70 plus, low reload number, high damage per minute. These four factors tell me that is a money-making special tank. And oh, by the way, that's correct. And we found this out yesterday. So now let me show you some other tanks. Maybe you don't have, any of these other moneymaker tanks. Now, when I made the other videos of moneymaker tanks, I was thinking about it from a personal perspective of what would be the best for me, or players that have lots of tanks. I'm like, okay, that was great, but hello, stupid. What about people who don't have a lot of premium tanks? Oh yeah, premium tank is obviously another category because you need a high silver bonus, 150 or greater. I don't know what the K tank is. Let's look at the silver bonus. Silver bonus on the K tank. Scroll down here. 165. Jackpot. All right, it was a jackpot. But I have other tanks that qualify now that I tested some of these out myself. Now, other tanks could have an extra bonus to them, and that would be a higher commander bonus than the 10% of most of your standard Cold War premium tanks. Like the EE has a 10% commander bonus. Let's look down here. You see that 165 on the silver bonus, which is 65% bonus. The 100 just means the standard amount. So you get the standard 100% plus another 65% on silver. On the commander, it's 110, which means you get the standard 100% plus a 10% bonus, which is very solid. Okay, I'm not saying it's bad at all. So we look here. Now I want to show you this one. One of the things you may or may not be aware of, there's a handful. It's around, the last time I counted was 12, but we have the Belka tank added at least. So there's more than 12 Cold War premium tanks that have a 25% bonus for commanders. This Warden is one of those tanks. This is a 25% bonus. Now, let's look at this tank and go, apply our rules. Is this a quote? When I say moneymaker, I mean big money maker, 100 grand plus. Okay, it is a money maker. You could make good money in this if you don't have anything else. That's better. But let's look at it. So, what's that speed on that dude? That's 75. So that's 70 plus. That's 1. We got configuration, reload, reload, reload. Those all three affect the reload. That's excellent. So what's the reload time? That gives us a reload time of 7 point, whatever that is. It's 7 point something. It's tiny, tiny. I can't read it. I could read it with reading glasses, but now I'd look like an idiot. So you look at the damage per minute. The damage per minute is like 3,000 plus. The answer is this could get lucky and have a big game every once in a while, but this is not a game in, game out big money maker. All right, it would be solid. You'll make profit. 50% bonus for your silver, which is fine, but you get 25% bonus commander. So it just all depends on what you have. If this was let's say this was someone's only Cold War premium tank, yes, they're going to make a lot of money in this tank. It's just not what you would call an A level tier of moneymaker. It might be a B minus or a C plus. Okay, it's a good tank. It has really good armor. That's another thing I forgot to show you. The armor in this is very good, but look, the top end armor number is what, 351. Remember that K1 had 501. Well, the highest armor was 490. This one's 345. It's good. This thing has good armor for a medium tank. All right, there's your front bar. Yeah, you're getting, it's okay. I mean, this is a mobility tank. This is not really an A. Like I said, it's not an A tier big money maker like the EE tank. The K1 is up there. Maybe it's an A minus. The EE would be an A plus. So, not really a big money maker for the Warden. Not really a shocker. But I'm just showing you the analysis of how you look at this. The Pharaoh's Fury, pretty good also. What's that speed? It's like 80. Speed is excellent in this tank. Again, reload, reload. We got the 3 reloads here on the tank. Not worried about the commander. We have a command in there as well. Reload on that is, well, what is that? 6 point what have you. Those numbers are tiny. The damage per minute was like 4,500. That's solid. Let's look at this armor. Now here's where you have a problem. Top armor value 290. Again, medium tank. It's a good tank, and you could have some good games in this. You have this 230 angled, and that's about a 45 degree angle, maybe 40 degrees. It's maybe about 40 degrees. So it's going to give you a bonus. It's going to act like over 300. It's all right. This tank really is not a great moneymaker tank in general. However, if someone had only this tank, yes, you could do okay. But you have to be a little more careful because the armor isn't as great. And this is the thing that separates the men from the boys. Ignis, another good moneymaker tank. It's not really great, but it's very good. Let's look at it. Reload. Now this one, there is no reloader, which is a slight problem. But to counter that problem of no advanced loader, because this is an auto-loading gun, reload, reload. You get 2 guns. You get missiles, and you get the 20-shot auto-loader. All right, which is fantastic. Now, what do we have here? Well, the reload on that is, 20-something seconds, 29 seconds for the chain gun. And the missile, that's another 20-something seconds. Bottom line, this dude will do probably 5,000 ballpark, maybe a little bit more damage per minute. But you do have a guided missile, which can be awesome because you can ammo rack and bust guys in one shot sometimes. So 50% silver bonus, 25% commander bonus. Now, I've done this on money making type missions or, contract stuff because this is a medium, but you do get a rocket launcher so you can hit some nasty long range targets with the rocket. And up close, this gun is a butt kicker. So I would say Ignis is probably a B caliber or C plus because the armor is kind of lame. That's the weakness of this. Look at that number. The top number is 151, but the top armor part is 130, and that doesn't stop anything. All right, here you go. This is 90. So this is a good money-making tank, but you're going to have to stay far away, use your missiles, try to expose yourself as little as possible to enemy fire. So this would be, I would say, normally a B caliber, but because of the weak armor, you might grade it down. It's just all personal choice. All right. I'd say offensively, it's probably a B plus for the Ignis, but the defensive armor is like C minus, maybe D. Not that great. I haven't analyzed this one yet, so this will be a new one. I mean, I had already analyzed the Ignis for other operations. Let's look at this Object 490T. What do we have here? Well, this dude, 70 plus, good. Oh, you know what? I haven't even put any equipment in here. Well, I'm not doing that because I'm saving money for something else. Anyway, well, let's just take a quickie look. This one would be an okay money maker. Not great. Now the damage per minute is going to be over probably 4,000 once we load it up with a commander and the equipment. 50% silver, great. 10% standard. So that 490 Topol is okay. Oh, I didn't look at the armor. Let's look at the armor. Holy moly. Now that doesn't really stop anything that you're going to see on a game in, game out basis. Let's look. But that technically the J-Man analysis that armor is 590. That's the top armor. So you got to look at that and go, hey, well, that's promising. Well, let's get down here to this frontal plate business. No, that's not it. Come on, there we go. 140, but that's very viciously sloped. So it's going to, behave decent. I'm not going to say this is great. Probably C caliber because of the armor. The armor is kind of lame, relatively speaking, for Era 3. Now, remember, the Ignis was Era 2. I didn't mention that, but I should have. Lower plate, 80 millimeters. I would say this is not a great choice in general, but again, personal preference. You could score and make some money in this dude. Probably C caliber is my ballpark estimate without actually having tested it. That's an estimation. All right, what is this? This is Object 292. This got a monster gun. What's our speed on this dude? 80? That's awesome. Reload. That's good. What's the reload? So is that 6.71? That number is so small, I literally can't read it. I mean, look at this closer. 8.71. That's worse. I don't think we have a commander here in this tank. It will get a little bit better. Again, 580 on the top armor part, but let's go look. We need to look at this frontal armor. This is really one of the keys. 140, I'm saying C caliber, but the gun is a monster gun. WZ-1224, let's look at this dude. We got 1, 2, 3 on the reload, which is good speed factor. What is like an 80? That's very good. Look at this armor. J-Man's armor test says 320 top end, but what's this front? Okay, we got a strip here of 240. That's not bad. All right, 160 with again about a 40 degrees, so that's going to be what is it going to be? 0.7 additional, so that would be another 100 plus. Yeah, 275 ish. It's not bad. effectively a 275 flat. Lower plate 100, not very angled. C, again, I would say on the armor. All right. Let's check on the bonuses. 55%, which is good on silver. 15% commander. Again, if this is all you have, yeah, you could do some business, but it's not going to be a super high number. Leclerc, let's look at this dude. Speed is what? 82? That's craziness. Reload. We've got that set good. Armor says what? Ugh, come on. Oh, geez. This is the J-Man jackpot. Look at that red stripe in front. That's fantastic. So top armor piece 570, but let's go look at the front. All right, that one 200 angled. Geez, 15 degrees maybe 25. I don't know. Close. It's close to. Yeah, I'd say 25ish. That's very good. Let's look again. We know that front stripe was red. What about the lower plate? Lower plate is duty 60. So if you can hold down this, you're probably good. So it's going to be, maybe a B caliber, because it's going to be very subjective on how you play this. But, that was very solid. Let's look at the bonuses. What is it? 60% silver, 10% commander. Not bad. Again, this would be a solid one if you have this. Leopard KWS-3. Now, this is actually one of the tanks that is in the prizes in the Warlord chests. You could get this tank. It's possible. If you don't have it. Reload. Always good. Speed, 75. That's good. Damage per minute is like 4,000 plus, which is okay. The reload is 9 point something. It's not great, but solid. What is that? Is that 65%? That's great. And another, looks like 10%. The numbers are so tiny, I'm telling you. So, decent. That's decent, Might be ballpark B minus. It'll depend on from player to player, but I would say B caliber. The armor was all right, no problems. MBT 80. I don't play this tank at all. So let's take a look at this. Reload, good. Speed 70 plus, good. Let's look at the armor. Oh, that's nice. Look at that's nasty. J-Man would like this 650 number. Now let's go. Oh, look at this front of the turret. That's 450. That's very good. Hey, man, this might be decent. Look at that strip in front. 300. That's not bad. But I have another one I'm going to show you that's really killer. All right, lower plate 152. That's very good. It's one of the best numbers we've seen, right? This is kind of You're going to get hammered to a degree if you're standing and shooting guys. So you got to be careful. B caliber, I would say, solid money maker. That reload time is not great. It's got 5,000 plus damage per minute. That's a good number. Anything over 5,000, I would say. Now this one I have it set for pure premium, and that would be a mistake. In the future, if I try this out, I'm only going to go half and half. Man, it's hard to see this, so that's good enough for me. Half and half. Because like I said, I have another good one I've already tried. Thumper. Another very good tank. Let's check it out. What do we have? Reload. And reload. That's good. Speed 70 plus. Excellent. Look at the armor. Armor is nasty. 580 for that frontal sides of the turret. That's awesome. The armor on this is really very good. Okay, not that one. We want to see this front. There we go. This front lower-ish plate, 330. That's just nasty. That top super 5 degrees. If you get hit there, it ain't going through that, dude. That's 305. That's nasty. So from the front, this tank is a nasty armor tank. That's quite good. I like that. All right. And what's the bonuses? 65%. 10. Dude, this one's potentially really good. The weakness that it has is the reload. Oops, I don't want to sell that. Reload time. 7.5, whatever. And I do have my commander in there. He's a 9-slot commander. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he's a 9. So this one probably B plus or A minus. It's not as great. The damage per minute is limited to a degree by the slower reload. But dude, that armor is awesome. Meaning you don't have to be as good to score. So I would say your net effect, like I said, is probably B plus, maybe A minus, depending on your ability. Okay, I'm not the greatest heavy tank player, so I'm thinking B plus is good enough. Now, this is one that's a butt kicker. The Peace Cells. I was experimenting with this morning. Man, let me show you this butt kicker. And that's the song that plays in your garage. Megadeth. All right, so this is the Peace Cells Megadeth. Where we have reload, reload, and reload. We like that. 70 plus, we like that. Let's look at this armor. Oh yeah, 530. But that's on the side of that turret. That's really good stuff. Side of the gun, mantlet, whatever. More just excellent frontal armor. Look at that frontal armor piece of 500. Oh right, that's what I'm telling you. That thing is awesome. I was kicking butt in this dude because it's all because an 8-year-old kid asked me a genius question, and it made me go look at this. I'm like, oh geez, I had no idea. I don't even play this tank. This tank I got as a gift from Bernie, and I was like, yeah, that's cool and whatever. I don't really play heavy tanks, so I don't play this tank. But on this money-making operation, Peace Cells is pretty good, and I'll show you who's buying and as soon as we finish looking at this stuff. But this armor is look at that top plate with that nasty angle. That's about a 15-25 degree angle, something like that. 200, yeah, I can live with that. These side armors are very good also. And let's see the lower section. The lower section is only 60, but it's very tiny. You get hull down, they're in trouble, brother. This tank is a butt kicker. So now let's look at this. Bonuses. We got what? 50% and 25% commander. That's one of the things I checked. I was like, oh yeah, I remember. This is one of the 25% commander bonus tanks. So, oh yes, it's nasty. Now, what is this damage per minute? Now, this is fully stocked. 6,500 per minute. It's over 5,000. That was, like I told you, that was one of my criteria for the analysis. So anything 5,000 or better is going to be really good. You're going to do well. Like I said, this is for people who don't have, as many tanks as I have. And there are some people like Bernie and Fish. Oh my God, they have way more than me. But I do pretty good. So Peace Cells. Well, instead of letting me ballpark the analysis for you, let's go find out. We have a little thing here called the profile. Peace Cells, Westfield. How did that work out? All right. This worked out fine. The only problem with this tank is that yours truly, this idiot, had it for premium only. Idiot. Okay? That's why I didn't make better money. I did good, but it was premiums only. And so those premium rounds are 5,000 plus a shot. The regular is actually, it's like 5,300 for the premiums and 530 for the regular rounds. Needless to say, I have gone back and recalibrated my ammo selection to have 50-50. Okay. But, for actual Era 3 wars, I went full premium because, I mean, if I shoot you, I want to go through. I don't want to get it bounced. No thanks. Okay. So this 61,000 is my fault. The damage I had was good. 6,900 was good damage. 31 direct hits. Actually, I put about 32 or 33, something like that, rounds of regular, so that, you know, I'll still have a bunch of premiums. But this was very, very good. And I was MVP on this, you know, game. So that 6,900 was a great score for damage. Not great, but a very good score. My assist damage, 4,100, whatever the heck it was, that was great. All right. Well, 4,600, sorry. No, 4,600 block. Also awesome. Remember, we looked at that armor and we said, the J-Man question was like, that armor is awesome. And yes, it was. It blocked 4,600. And I got 4,100, almost 4,200 assistance. So that's how I got MVP. So definitely peace sells, I would say, is probably A- on the moneymaker scale. I had another one here. Let's look at this one. This was another very good match. This, I think, was the first one I played. So that even though I had all premiums, 217,000, it was just monster. Okay. Only 2 kills, but 9,600 damage, another 1,300 assist, another MVP. Yes, I got an MVP on this one. So this one gives you, for sure, this is an A- moneymaker. If you have the peace sells. Now, the peace sells, as you see up there, peace sells Leclerc Aries prototype. Now, one of the weaknesses, I think, of the peace sells, and it's very technically minor. It's kind of ugly with all this scribbly graffiti. It's not the way I would want it to be personally. Well, let me do this. There we go. So, this is not a beautiful tank, okay? I would really enjoy it if we could put camos to make it better looking. But when I'm in the money-making business, I don't care if it looks like a brick. It kind of looks like a brick, actually. So I'm good with this. My son has metal hair, and when he does it, man, you know, it's fantastic. He's a big Metallica guy, so this gives you a good example of what this Leclerc tank will do. All right, MBT 70, you know, this is a US butt kicker, has a regular cannon, also has 5 guided missiles that you can use if you want to use those. You know, it's got 1 gun, and you have regular shells or guided missiles. Guided missiles take longer to reload. But if you use this tank, you start with the guided missile loaded first, fire that, and then switch to cannons. It's Jackpot City. And they later on added a chain gun after, you know, all the missile tanks came out. So that was fantastic. Let's go take a look at this dude. What do we have? We have reload. This has a long aim time, so I have a gun laying drive. Otherwise, you have to wait and make sure you're watching the circle shrink down. All right, it's a common occurrence. Ammo's decent here. Oh, these are my chain guns. This is my rockets. So this is regular, this is premium, this is rockets. What do we have on the armor? I think the armor is like kind of you know, so that really, you know, puts a damper on it. Now, my friend PS Xbox Killer, that guy's awesome in this tank. So now he's an Apex heavy tank player, okay? So for him, it rates higher than it does for me. I'm not as good as him, so my rating is based upon my ability. If you're better than me, well, then, you know, sky's the limit. So at 247, it's maximum armor. It's not that great in the armor department, okay? Now, one of the key things about this tank that's awesome is that it goes backwards exactly as fast as it goes forward, which means like 70 plus, okay? So look at this. This frontal plate here, 60. Oh, God, you're going to get annihilated. But I've seen My friend, several hundred grand. So in his hands, this thing's an A caliber tier tank for Moneymaker. For me, I would say this is a C. You can do it. You got to be careful. All right. You got to be careful in all of them, to be honest. But I don't think this is a great Moneymaker, but this is a great tank with great armor. So let's take a look at it. This is Era 2. Reload. Excellent. Speed on this is medium, 50. You can go a little bit faster, but 60 I think is like the absolute top end. It might be 58, I don't remember. Doesn't really matter. We're ballparking this. So this is with the gasoline. Now notice I have tracks, but I don't have the powertrain. The powertrain effect is the same as gasoline, so I just use gasoline because I want reload and reload. All right, let's take a look at the armor. The armor on this is a nasty Era 2 armor. Okay, very good. A lot of green. Look at that turret. This dude is really a strongly armored tank, very successful. You can't argue with this angle. It's very good. Again, good armor, 170 angled. It'll act like over 200. Lower plate is pretty good, 150. So in the money making department, it's probably B- due to the lack of, damage per minute is 4,000, like 100. All right. Does make a lot of silver, 65%, 10%, right? 10% commander bonus. Great tank. I don't use this for money making because I played it a bunch and I know I had this full premium for a good reason. But I'm not going to take this one out for money making. But it's a decent money maker, but you're not going to make 100 grand plus. This is one of the top money maker tanks that I was using. It's a great backup if I'm in the EE and then I get killed or what have you. I can just go to this one because I've tested this one thoroughly. All right, got a good split of about 50-50 on the ammo. Okay, that's a good one. But reload, we're good. What's the top speed on this? Well, top speed, if you jack with it, it's like 80 something. We could do this. Problem is, you lose crewmen in this. I'm not saying to necessarily do this, but you can see the speed effect yourself. That's like 79 or 78, tiny numbers. So, recommendation is always trial with medicine and then switch it if you're not getting damaged a lot. Armor. Not really objectively that top is 330, but let's look at the frontal armors. Got a great angled turret though, so it's the turret armor is really good. Let's look at this guy. Lower plate, 143 angled. It's like okay. It's good on the move, and that's when it's key. Again, another kind of in my experience for myself, A-. But just by looking at it without me actually doing it, I would grade this lower, B caliber on the armor. This dude, you can make a couple $100 grand plus in this. Now that's using boosters, silver boosters, 1.5 or 2 times silver boosters. Okay, but without silver boosters, yeah, you can make 100 grand in this tank if you have it. I'm not telling you to go get this. This is an expensive tank. If you got it, got a deal on it, what have you, it's a great tank to have. I'm not telling you to buy any of these tanks, but check your stash of what you have in mediums and heavies. You can even use some tank destroyers. I use guided missile tanks. They perform substantially less in the money department than all of these tanks. I have fun with guided missile tanks, but they're not A tier money makers. Some of them are pretty good, probably B tier. You can definitely make money in those, but if you have any of these ones that I've showed you here, you have big money potential. And if you don't have any of these, this video shows you a way to look at it, look at the categories and go, maybe this one that I have could qualify as a good money making tank. So that's pretty much it. So I wanted to let you guys see what I was doing because I'm still working on this one. I'm not paying gold for this. I'm paying silver. All right. Now I have the free XP to do it, but we're going with the silver route. Now the deal is with this one is that my cohort is on vacation. He's gone. He hasn't seen any of this week, and he won't until he gets back. And this one will be gone by 3 or 4 days, whatever. So I'm going to send him this Sturmpanzer 5 from silver from money making tanks. That's how I came across doing all this stuff. Is that I'm trying to maximize this to, while I finish off my chest earner, the second chest earner. So I'm knocking off 2-3 birds at one time. I'm doing chest earner. I'm doing silver moneymaker so I can get this Sturmpanzer 5. I'm also building commander skills slowly in there. It's all good. So try to multitask when you're doing these things, okay? Also, well, in money making, I'm not really working on contracts, but normally I would try to, do the whole thing. It's it's here and there, but the money making part goes a lot better without the contract, just playing co-op. So there you go. That's the secret. That's the goal. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sure you learned something. At the very least, we learned that when a smart guy asks you a great question, sometimes it's even better than you think it is. And it was an awesome question. It made me think about this stuff. And so I've opened up a whole new world of money-making tanks in Cold War. So you've got this info. Go get it yourself. Let us know. Leave us a comment. Blah, blah, blah. I'm speaking like Bruce Almighty. And tell people what you've done, what success you've had, because there's always people going to read those comments and go, oh, wow, I never would have thought of fill in the blank, okay? And you're going to fill in the blank. So that's it. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you guys later. And as always, like and subscribe.